So, my friends, I want to apologize. I'm about 6 hours late today. I took my son to a doctor's appointment, and then I got home and got a migraine. So that knocked me out for 4 or 5 hours, and yeah, that was not so pleasant. But I can only imagine that this is even less pleasant. Imagine the conversation Gerasimov and Putin are going to be having over the next few days, given what you're about to see. So what you're about to see is what happened, but before you see what happened in a place that is going to be difficult to pronounce, where there's an ammo dump, 1,440 Russians off the battlefield. That's pretty high, right? 21 tanks. That's also on the higher side recently. And remember, replacement value is about 4 a day. 38 armored combat or fighting vehicles, 58 artillery systems, 68 vehicles, and fuel tanks. Andrew Perpetua's list is about 2-to-1 Ukrainian, Russian losses to 1 Ukrainian losses. It's quite a bit, and it's about 2-to-1. Okay, last night, 0 out of 4 Iskanders were shot down, so all 4 got through. 5 out of 5 cruise missiles were shot down. 11 out of 16 Shahed drones were shot down. Artillery hitting in Kharkiv. According to the mayor, 15 people were injured in Kharkiv. Russians dropped 108 guided bombs on Ukraine and another 25 on Kursk in the last day or so. It's just, wow. It's bad. Okay, now, drone attacks from Ukraine to Russia have prompted evacuation in Russia. So let's look at what's going on here. This is a little parody site. Fear not, fellow patriots. Motherland has protected the ammo depots by shooting down the Ukrainian UAVs. The explosions were caused by falling debris. Rejoice. Wait, what? Is that the Ukrainians have renamed their UAVs debris? Okay, so every time that you see a big, massive strike, the Russians will say, well, we shot everything down, falling debris set things on fire. One of my viewers commented about this, about, they should name their drone, Ukraine should rename their drones falling debris. I thought that was pretty funny. Suchomimus has apparently said the same thing, and here QB is saying the same thing. So we'll just go with falling debris. That's perfectly fine. Speaking of falling debris, about 4 nights ago, Ukraine conducted a successful one-way attack. This is the British Defense Update. A successful attack, and this was in the Tver region. Ver. Okay, Ver like bear. Okay, thank you. I listened to your comments. Ver region, approximately 500 kilometers from Ukraine. Okay, so what happened? There were 30,000 tons of ordnance there. So that's what they hit. There were 3,000 homes damaged, 30,000 people evacuated. That's nice and symmetric, too, with the threes. And the explosion at Turapets was recorded at 2.7 on the Richter scale. Not a 3, but still, wow. On the Richter scale, the explosion was recorded. Okay, so that's what happened just a couple nights ago. And then, after that, Ukraine successfully attacked last night the 23rd GRAU arsenal in Krasnodar area. A strike was carried out on the main artillery ammunition depot in the Detonates district. I can't really roll my tongue the way it's apparently supposed to be said, so I'm sorry. So I'm going to just call it Detonates district of the Krasnodar region. There are also 2 military units in the village. That's the fireball as people were driving by in a car taking video after seeing things detonate. And they were remarkably calm for driving by and seeing that, because I wouldn't be remarkably calm if I was driving by seeing that. This is part of Ukraine's victory strategy. I think that's exactly right. And I'm going to talk about that tonight in my 3 big stories, or 4 or 5 or however many big stories, because that is the key. Russia has lost the ammunition capacity to wage an intense war for 4 months. Now, I'm not sure about this 4 months, and maybe he does know something. He's a chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee at the Estonian Parliament, this guy. But yeah, they've lost a lot of capacity to do harm to Ukrainians. Igor Shoshku is saying that Putin lost around 60,000 tons in missiles and rockets in just the past 2 days between 3 arsenals, tens of billions of dollars. I'm not I'm not focused on is it 60, is it 50, is it however, they lost a lot, right? North Korea sent 1,000 containers of ammunition to Russia, 300 of which arrived in Russia on September 7th to 8th. The containers first arrived in the port of Najan and then by container ship, and they already made it down to Krasnodar Krai. Hello, 719th base. Okay, so there goes about a third of North Korea's shipment. That's something pretty impressive. Locals report that due to continued detonation of ammunition, air raid alerts keep sounding in the Gerdes district, Krasnodar region of Russia. 1,200 people have been evacuated from the area, local authorities are reported. Not bad for shot down drone parts or falling debris. Okay, this is the aftermath of Ukraine's latest strike on a Russian ammunition depot, and this is a satellite image of what's going on. That's something impressive. And here's NASA's firm data showing the ammunition depot has been on fire, red squares, but also a local airfield at the top right. So if we go back and look at it, right, the airfield's over here as well. Okay. SBU Special Forces have been fairly busy over the last week. I hope they can get a vacation sometime because they've been working overtime here this last week, and it's been spectacular what they've been able to do. SBU Special Forces have successfully targeted and destroyed various Russian assets over the past week. The destruction of 6 tanks, 18 armored vehicles, 19 artillery systems, 3 air defense systems, 204 vehicles, 39 drones, 128 enemy fortifications and firing positions, as well as 6 ammunition depots and 1 fuel storage. So that's something. Now, this is an interesting thing. This is how Ukrainian air defenders clear the sky from Russian Shahed drones. So what you're seeing is how they see when they're focused on Shahed drones. They're firing on, like, that's pretty impressive stuff. Right? That's their view. And I just thought, wow, like, you know how I am about the drone-on-drone warfare kind of stuff. This is how they target and shoot down Shahed drones. That's remarkable to me. Okay. Jason J. Smart posted this, and I don't even know what to say here. He said, turn up the volume, and I stupidly did. I'm not going to turn up the volume because you'll never get the sound out of your head. This Ukrainian mother who served in the Ukrainian armed forces just discovered the dead bodies of her 12-year-old son and her mother. This is what the Russians are doing to Ukraine regularly on a daily basis. The woman's other son, since 2022, is a prisoner of war. And yet we haven't allowed Ukraine to fully strike back. And this is what Zelensky's plan is, or this is what he's bringing to Biden next week. Ukrainian President Zelensky framed Biden's ability to strengthen Ukraine and protect its independence as a historic mission from the Ukrainian perspective. He will present a detailed victory plan to Biden in Washington on 26 September. Now, in the meantime, it's been like this. This is China and Taiwan, but you might as well just do the same thing and say Russia and Ukraine, and I will destroy you and take your land, right? And Ukraine, why don't you want a peace? Why don't you want peace? Make peace with Russia. But wait, shouldn't you be talking to Russia, not, again, instead of China, put Russia, shouldn't you be talking to Russia, not Ukraine here? I mean, that I think is what the essence of this is all about. Instead of constantly urging and warning Ukraine not to attack certain targets in Russia, it would be better to urge and warn Russia to stop the airstrikes on Ukrainian cities, because otherwise certain targets in Russia would be attacked. How about that? I mean, if they took that approach, that would be a very, very different approach. Now remember, and I'm only highlighting one sentence here, Russia is the only state that seized a nuclear power plant in Europe, blackmailing the world. Yeah. So we need to think about who's really doing what to whom. Okay. Darth Putin said the fact that Ukraine is hitting Russian ammo dumps 450 kilometers inside Russia is proof that allowing Ukraine to hit 300 kilometers inside Russia would be an escalation. Don't do that. But there's more to that story, and we'll talk about that tonight in my 3 big stories, or 4 or 5, whatever it is. And we'll end with this. In spite of everything that's gone on today for me personally, or everything that's gone on for people in Ukraine, the people that are suffering and struggling, happy Friday, everyone. This was posted yesterday, obviously. Happy Friday. No matter how tough your day gets, don't forget to smile. And if you can do it, the rest of us surely can. All right, my friends, thank you for your time. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the subscribes. And thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.